Tonight on Elon Local News.
The storm that caught some by surprise. How students who were on campus for Tropical Storm Michael dealt with the challenges.
And how a local farm was affected.
A national music program. How it's making an impact in our community.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Samantha Casamento.
And I'm Jack Norcross. Cleanup today continues after Tropical Storm Michael made its way through Elon. Take a look at these before and after videos of campus. When the storm reached Elon on Thursday, it was downgraded from a hurricane to a tropical storm. Several trees fell down and multiple places on campus lost power. Parts of historic neighborhood pooled with water and light posts were knocked off.
And one neighborhood in particular lost power for about 50 hours. For some Elon students living in the station at Mill Point who decided to stay on campus over fall break, the few days of hopeful relaxation turned into inconvenience and frustration. Our Rachel Ellis has the story.
For station at Mill Point resident Ryan Healy, flying home to Connecticut for what she said felt like a long weekend did not seem worth the travel. According to Vice President for Student Life, John Dooley, the station at Mill Point neighborhood was the only on-campus housing to lose power during the storm. Healy and her roommate were taking a nap on Thursday afternoon when they woke up to the sound of whipping winds and power surges. It was in that moment when they decided to take matters into their own hands.
We filled up the pots and things like that with water just in case, and then the power went out.
After the lights went out in Mill Point around 5 p.m. that evening, Dooley and Elon's alert system warned students of nearby thunderstorms, encouraging anyone on campus to seek shelter.
You could see trees really kind of moving, so we were a little worried about that.
She says there should have been more communication with students on campus before the power went out.
I think a little bit more preparation. I went to the grocery store on Wednesday and bought a full fridge of stuff because I didn't really know that it was going to hit us that bad.
While Florence formed on August 31st, it did not make landfall until September 14th, leaving the university with plenty of time to prepare for the storm's arrival. Michael was moving much faster, forming on October 7th and making landfall on October 10th. Still, residents of the Mill Point neighborhood thought more direct storm updates would have been helpful.
They were sending the same emails to us that they were sending to the general student population, which I feel like was a little bit odd.
Now with power up and running, Healy is catching up on kitchen chores and a few episodes of The Office. Rachel Ellis, Elon Local News.
In a statement from Dooley, he said, quote, "The nature and timing of the storms were quite different. One predicted to make landfall in the state of North Carolina and directly pass over Elon's campus at a time when classes were in session, with the other predicted to make landfall in Florida and weaken to a tropical storm by the time it reached North Carolina at a time we were on fall break. The lesson learned for students is that no one storm will be just like the next," end quote. For the full story, check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
Not being able to access her refrigerator during the power outage was an inconvenience for senior Emma Ismail, who lives in Mill Point and stayed at Elon over fall break.
I normally cook at home, so it was a pain to have to go out and spend money on food.
The FDA recommends throwing out any perishable foods in your refrigerator after 4 hours without power, poultry and dairy just after 2. Ismail says they didn't throw food out until it had been 24 hours without power. We apologize for that. She says she lost more than an estimated $300 worth of groceries.
Students throwing out their food that went bad during Michael have added a workload for those who have to take out the trash.
Selena Guevara spent the afternoon with one physical plant worker who's getting his hands dirty cleaning up the spoils. She's with us now live in studio. Selena.
Thanks, Jack. When I did this story, I originally went out with the intention to tell the tale of all the food that's being wasted after the power outage. But what I found while doing so was something that both surprised me and concerned me. It's the story of how we treat others on campus. It's not the world's most glamorous job, but Anthony Totten does it with a smile. After the power outage at Mill Point, taking out the trash takes a little extra time.
Now this a heavy bag.
How heavy?
Say like 150, 200 pounds.
He splits up the bags with his bare hands to make them manageable.
Rough hands, ain't it? It take a little bit more time, but it's okay.
And after 25 years at Elon, he has the technique perfected.
I take the trash can and take it, and tip it like this.
But the smell of trash isn't the only part of his job that can stink sometimes.
I really don't like talking about it, but it was always taught us to be truthful.
Even though he's serving students, they aren't always respectful when he's just trying to do his job.
Making too much noise.
He's even gotten racial slurs before.
How it makes me feel, well, it makes me feel uncomfortable.
But he just ignores it and keeps doing his job.
They really don't want you saying anything out to the students out the way, Elon, because Elon is about bringing the students in, making their money. But they're going to have to realize that people got feelings.
When I asked him what he wished those students knew,
To put themselves in my shoes, they'll look at life a little better.
if you see him walking around campus, a little respect goes a long way.
You got to treat a person right.
Especially for someone
That's why they pay me for, so.
who's just doing their job.
All right, you have a blessed day.
People don't realize about a lot of the physical plant workers is that they are working 7 days about half the time, 7 days a week. Now, Anthony, he's been at Elon for more than 25 years, and he still makes less than $20 an hour. So he has a side hustle on the weekends where he helps clean people's yards. But when I was talking to him, he told me he really just wants to be able to support. He has 5 kids and 18 grandkids. So he's a truly hard-working man, and he is a wonderful man to talk to, full of wisdom as well.
And I'm sure he's not just the only physical plant worker in that situation.
Absolutely, I really feel for him.
Yes, Lena, thank you for that. Definitely keep this story in mind when you're walking around and see the people on the ground who keep this beautiful school running. We don't always recognize them, but they're always working hard for us, so the least we can do is be grateful and respectful.
And Allied Churches of Alamance County, a homeless shelter and food pantry in Burlington, might have to close its doors due to lack of funding, according to a statement made by their former executive director, Richard Gary. In an interview with the Times News of Alamance, Gary said that Allied Churches would have to close its doors unless they could raise $50,000 in funding. Allied Churches failed to respond to our request for comment, but Mayor of Burlington, Ian Balchutis, said, quote, as of Friday, the Allied Churches board had been meeting with a team of community groups to find funding to keep their doors open, end quote. While Mayor Balchutis has not been directly involved in the meetings with the board members of Allied Churches, he is confident they can fix the problem. Elon News Network will continue to update the story as we get more information on elonnewsnetwork.com.
A controversial immigration law is back up for discussion in Alamance County. The 287G program would allow state and local enforcement to partner with immigration and customs enforcement to assist in the deportation process of undocumented immigrants. There are only 78 287G programs nationwide, with 6 of those in North Carolina. Alamance County entered into this agreement in 2007, but was suspended in 2012 after a lawsuit was filed against the Alamance County Sheriff's Office alleging racial profiling. Now, local business owners are taking a stand in opposition of the program, including Oak House owner Phil Smith.
It just feels wrong to target people based on the color of their skin, and the program definitely did that the first time and would do that again, I believe. And then as just a citizen in the community, I think our community is much safer when everybody feels that they have the trust and faith of local law enforcement.
Alamance County Sheriff Terry Johnson was unavailable for comment. You can log on to elonnewsnetwork.com for a complete breakdown of 287G. And after the break, how one farm is showing resilience after the storm.
I'll let you know after the break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
It's a beautiful day out here. Sunny today with light breezes, giving way to clouds in the afternoon. We could see some light precipitation to moderate precipitation later on, followed by powerful storm-like conditions. 90 miles per hour winds are expected. Authorities are asking everyone, stay indoors. Come on, that's it. Let's go.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be flood next Thursday.
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
They've survived hurricanes, financial setbacks, and 27 years of marriage. Our Megan Lynn introduces you to the owners of J. Razantaz Farms in Gibsonville.
Hurricane Florence didn't damage the farm, but Michael knocked down 10 trees and flattened their cornfields. The farm only closed on Friday, but co-owner Aaron Early says getting back to normal is going to take weeks.
Mother Nature is just, that's the boss. There's not a complaint box. There's no wah. You just, for the lack of better words, you just suck it up and do it. And she will throw a curve whenever she feels like it.
If you're not good at farming, then you're not going to be in business very long.
Aaron's husband Trey has been in the farming business since he learned to drive a tractor when he was 4. Trey and his wife Erin now on the farm that's been in the family for 55 years. The Earlys have been married 27 years, and Aaron says they were first loves.
I didn't even have a driver's license. So I met him when I was 15. I came from a beef farm, and he was over here playing in the dirt.
She says marriage comes with its share of challenges, and so does farming. Fall is the Earlys' busiest time of year, and this one hasn't been easy. The storm damage destroyed parts of their haunted forest and corn maze, 2 major operations that the Earlys depend on for income in the fall. They've recovered as much as they can to keep the farm up and running.
What's your favorite part? I like to ride out on the farm.
Yeah, what about you?
Jumping in the corn.
Yeah. Suzanne Bell has been coming to the farm for 5 years and came to celebrate her daughter Ruby's 2nd birthday. She says the farm is part of their family.
This is like my fall happy place because it's just big open spaces where the kids can run and we don't have to worry.
Aaron says their spirit is what keeps them going.
We're eclectic as the devil, holy cow. But everybody's hard-headed.
At the end of the day, Trey says he has faith the farm will survive any challenges to come.
You don't go out and plant a crop in the ground and not have hope. That just don't happen. If you lose your hope, you might as well do something else.
In Gibsonville, Megan Lynn, Elon Local News.
The farm is up and running with some modifications to the haunted forest and corn maze. President Connie Book's inauguration is this Thursday and preparations are underway. This is the first inauguration since 1999 when President Emeritus Leo Lambert was inaugurated. Around campus, special inauguration flags replace the usual Elon flags.
Tomorrow, students, faculty, and staff can celebrate the inauguration at College Coffee by making a donation to the Honor President Book Drive. The money goes towards new books for the Alamance-Burlington school system. President Book says she's excited for the inauguration to bring the Elon community together.
That's part of the thing I'll be celebrating at the inauguration is this sense of ownership that the community has about the university.
The ceremony starts at 3 p.m. in Schar Center, but our coverage will begin at 10 a.m. We will have a pre-inauguration story, including a look at past inaugurations and President Book's future plans.
And be sure to tune into our special live broadcast leading up to the inauguration at 2:45 p.m. and continuing coverage during the ceremony. I have to say, Sam, I'm really looking forward to this inauguration, and I'm hoping for nice weather on Thursday as well.
Well, we have Maeve Ashbrook live outside on Citron Plaza with the latest. Maeve.
Thank you so much, Sam and Jack. I am live here on Citron Plaza, and it is an absolutely beautiful day here at Elon University. Despite a bit of a chilly morning today, after going through 2 hurricanes and some super high temperatures, like we saw this afternoon, I'm sure many of you are wondering, when is the fall weather ever going to come, and will it ever stay? And I can tell you this week is the week. According to our Phoenix 5-day forecast, tomorrow we will be seeing cloudy skies with a high of 67 and a low of 56. On Wednesday, the sun will peek out just a bit with a high of 71 and a low of 42. On Thursday and Friday, we will have mostly sunny days with highs around 60 and a low of 40 on Thursday and a low of 51 on Friday. Don't put your rain boots away just yet, though. There is a 90% chance of rain on Saturday with a high of 64 and a low of 42. After such a wild weekend here at Elon, I know we are looking for more forecasts like these. That's all I have. Back to you, Sam and Jack.
Thanks, Maeve. And with Halloween only a few weeks away, the Center for Race, Ethnicity, and Diversity Education is raising awareness about culturally insensitive costumes. The campaign is called Culture Not Costume and includes a photo shoot this Wednesday. These photos will display examples of insensitive costumes to steer clear of. Eliza Singleton is a student coordinator for the upcoming campaign and advises students to inform rather than attack.
Why is what I'm wearing going to, make you feel uncomfortable? And even just starting that conversation and really bringing students not into the, hey, you can't wear that, that's wrong, but this is why you shouldn't wear that and why it's offensive.
In an email to ENN, the Office of Student Conduct said, quote, they hope all members of the Elon community follow the honor code as they choose the Halloween costume.
When we come back from the break, one local business that's committed to cutting back.
And it was a tough weekend for Elon sports. I'll be talking about that and the upcoming athletic schedule when we come back. Stay tuned.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes, and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But
I know.
my
When I
resume
knew
show
that, I
you
was
how
like,
I
oh,
truly
shoot.
stand out. Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Wake the sun, tell him that I've begun to dream of things to come, and tell the trees not to look for me. I'm going to find some peace of mind. Wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun, wake the sun.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
According to National Geographic, about 18 million pounds of plastic waste end up in oceans every year. The global trend of reducing plastic waste is on the rise. Our Maya Eaglin found one local business that has committed to making the change.
It's more than just pizza and bread at Pandora's Pies in downtown Elon. The business has been phasing out plastics with their Final Straws program. Owner Peter Usage says reducing waste has been an ongoing effort.
We've gotten rid of all styrofoam except for soup containers, just to keep them warm, but all of our cups are biodegradable corn material. All of our to-go boxes are also recycled.
Chef Lincoln Franchel has been working at Pandora since it opened 7 years ago.
It's been a priority of mine ever since being here because we kind of want to help, you know, the local municipalities, the farmers, the environment.
Usage says he's seen a 50% reduction in the use of straws, but it's come at a cost.
Obviously, as long as we're still pulling a profit and we can reap those percentages somewhere else, then I definitely think our carbon footprint is more important.
And although Pandora's isn't completely banning straws, they're doing their part to make sure theirs don't contribute to the 500 million that end up in oceans every day.
Franchel says every person can make a difference.
If a business can be part of it, then the individual can be on part of it. You know, one can follow the other, and the more individuals change, the greater the change will be.
And for Usage, there's no better time to do so.
So we're the generation that has to make the change. The dinosaurs are going to die, and we are the ones that have to kind of step up and lead the new revolution.
Maya Eaglin, Elon Local News.
ENN contacted Elon, Dining, Tangent, and McGurk's, but could not get an interview. Pandora's will say they hope that they will influence other businesses at Elon.
It was a tough weekend on campus for Elon sports. Football dropped to number 11 in the nation following their loss to the University of Delaware. Quarterback Davis Cheek went down with a left knee injury in the first quarter. There will be more information later in the week on that injury. Running back Malcolm Summers also re-injured his hamstring against JMU, and he did not get a single snap in the loss. Defensive back Greg Liggs Jr. took a hit to the head and missed all the second quarter, but he was able to play the second half. Elon will look to bounce back against the University of Richmond on Saturday. Women's soccer lost 4-3 to Hofstra in their final home game of the season. The seniors will now have just 3 games left to make their mark on the program. Now on to some good news. Elon Volleyball beat William & Mary 3-1 to snap their 7-match losing streak. Their next game is against NC Central on Wednesday on the road. Jack and Samantha, back to you.
Thanks, Jack.
Downtown Elon is about to get more colorful. For the first time ever, the town will have a public art installation. Elon students and community members gathered in Arts West to dye cloth with a Japanese dyeing technique called shibori. Visiting artist Naomi Falk says the process of creating the textiles is almost as exciting as the art itself.
There's lots of chemistry and sort of magic that is involved with the dyeing, because you dip the fabric and it's one color like a yellow-green, and then magically turns to blue when it hits the oxygen, and so it's a pretty fun process for everyone.
And we'll be right back.
Birthday
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Bye-bye.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
For Alamance County students who live in under-resourced communities, access to music programs are hard to come by. The Young Musicians of Alamance provides these students with more than just an instrument. Diego Pineda has more on the music making a difference.
1, 2.
For 6 hours every week, the Young Musicians of Alamance, also known as YMA, gather for musical instruction, singing lessons, and bonding activities. The program, started in 2015 by founder and executive director Beth Bader, is based on El Sistema, a music education program in Venezuela aimed to help kids from impoverished communities.
There is in this country, among a lot of important people and foundations and so on, the realization that kids in poverty need so much, and they deserve to have so much.
With the help of musicians and teachers known as teaching artists, YMA helps underprivileged children to grow in their musical talents, social values, and academic skills. Bass player Emmanuel Castillo has only been in YMA for a year. He says the music lessons can serve as an escape from his everyday life.
Like if I was having a rough time, I can always go into the bass and start playing and forget about the things.
What began as a program for 8 first graders has now grown to provide lessons to 30 students. Through fundraisers and donations, YMA has created a community for the kids and their families.
They belong to something important to them. And the belonging, it seems to me, also, and they see this in the research, that it changes their lives.
Bader hopes that as YMA continues to provide a change in the Alamance community through music, the number of its members and ways of recruiting and funding continue to grow.
And it gives them opportunities, it gives them resilience, it gives them many things that they would just not have the opportunity to do if they didn't have this program.
Diego Pineda, Elon Local News.
And that's all the news we have for you today. Thank you for watching.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Elon News Network and check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And make sure to pick up a copy of the Pendulum Special Edition on stands today.
And tune into our coverage of President Book's inauguration at 10 a.m. and 2:45 p.m. on Thursday.
Have a great week, Elon.